Up everyone, it is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into another my top 10 favorite palettes from. So in this episode of my top 10 favorite palettes from, we are gonna get into Juvia's place. So I'm gonna show you 10 palettes that are my favorite palettes from the brand. Then I'm gonna pick one of these 10 palettes to do an eye look with, and then we're gonna talk about just the brand as a whole, and I'll talk about each palette as a whole and why I like it and why it's my favorite and things of that nature. So without further ado, girl, let's get into it, because honey, as usual, guess what, I'm tired. Let's get started. So number one, I have the Violets palette from Juvia's place. This is what she looks like on the inside, honey. Look at it. If you didn't know, I'm obsessed with purples. I like blue, green, purple, and occasionally pink. So those are my tones. So needless to say, a monochromatic purple palette is all for me. And I love the unique shades that they chose. Like, I feel like this purple isn't just a true eggplant purple. It has like this weirdish type undertone to it. Then there's this nice lavender. Then it has all these gorgeous shimmers. And if I remember correctly, I think one of them shifts. Don't quote me. Even if it doesn't, I just love this shade right here. I think it's so pretty on the lid. So this one I absolutely love for the color story, because purples are my favorite. So, and it's great affordable. That's another reason I like a lot of Juvia's place, because it's really affordable. And then they always having sales. Like, they recently had a sale on TikTok where you got like 50% off everything on their website, and then stuff that was already on sale, you still got an extra percentage off. So I was just like, yes, give it to me. So I actually got you all a couple of things from Juvia's place for the Christmas giveaway that's coming up soon, just because, you know, I was excited. So next I have the Nubian Royal. This was one of their holiday collections. Now the downside to this one is this pressed glitter right here. I'm not feeling it. I'd rather have another shimmer or another matte. Be that as it may, it's here and whatever. I've never touched it a day in my life. What I love about this palette is this purple right here. Like, to me, this is such a gorgeous royal purple. You see what they did there? Hey, how you doing? So I really like this color in the palette. It's one of my favorite colors here. This was the palette I was talking about that had the shifting purple shading. I knew one of these purple palettes has a shifting shade in it. It was this one. So I love putting this one and this one and just this in the crease and maybe this on my brow bone or something, and that's like the go-to look for me in here. But I also like the fact that I can pair this palette with this one and have a really interesting, unique color story too. Because remember I told you this dark purple has a unique color to it. Then that lighter, well, that purple's lighter than this one in here has a unique, fun color to it. And then you have all these transforming shimmers and bright shimmers. And y'all know I like to put 3 and 4 shimmers on the lid and act like, you know, I made a whole dual chrome situation on my own unique dual chrome. So that's why I love these two palettes. That's why I had to put both of them in here, because it's like I like to pair them together, or they can be used separately, whichever way you choose to. But that's why they're the first two I'm showing you. Next I have the Olori palette. To me, this is the brown girls version of the what is that, the Metropolis mini palette, or the mini Metropolis palette. I feel like this is just a fun version of that palette that has a bright, vibrant colors that Natasha can give us in that, because she always has to play it safe and give you boring tones. So this is just, to me, the fun black girl version of that palette, and I love it. I think I put this in a video of cult classic products, so black girl friendly cult classic products. I think it's in there. Don't quote me if it is, and I need to do a part 2, because this definitely needs to go in there. And since what do you call it, Metropolis is such a cult classic to people, because everybody talks about that palette forever, I feel like that's a good alternative for brown people. And since, like I said, Juvia's place always got a deal, and since it's owned by a black woman, you know the pigmentation is gonna be on point and work for you, and you ain't gotta worry about that light shade that don't work for nobody. Sorry, that works for the majority and it don't work for all of this here. Next I have the Olori 2 palette. So here's what she looks like on the inside. Now, originally when I first got into makeup, blue eyeshadow was like my favorite color. And I still have a fondness and love of blue eyeshadow, but I think I love purple a little bit more nowadays. Either way, this palette is stunning, and it had to be in this video. I mean, look at it. You thought I wasn't gonna put this in here? I didn't forget about blue that much, you know. Only thing that sucks is there's only this one blue shade, so it's like I don't have a deeper blue to pair with this. That's my only gripe with this. Like, you have to use this on your outer V and then just put one of the shimmers on your lid. But even so, I still feel like the shimmers that she chose were so stunning. And I mean, worst come to worst, you can put this on your outer V, since it seems to be more of a satiny one. It's not necessarily a chunky shade. I've never done that. I usually just go with this shade, or I'll do a halo eye with this palette, so that way I can just pick one of the shimmers and put one shimmer for the lid and one shimmer for the inner corner. I don't have to do too much thinking on it. But I really love this color story, and this is actually I think part of Christmas collection from last year. They had like 3 of them. There's a 1, 2, and there's 3. The third one actually looks like it would be a good dupe for the what's that palette, the mini Biba palette because it's a 6 pan. So I left that one at home though, because it's like I already had my 10 picked out, and I was like that would be an honorable mention. I'm trying not to do honorable mentions in this video just because, you know, I said 10 and I'm trying to actually stick myself to the 10 instead of doing my honorable mention. If you've been here for a while, you know sometimes I just be like I have an honorable mention for this, but like, I'm trying to be good and not do that. So moving on. Next, a classic that I feel like everybody loved and then they stripped away from us because they're disrespectful and rude. So this is the Dry palette. So this is like a go-to fun summer palette. So as you can see, you got your row of greens for the fun people like me. You got your row of oranges and neutrals for the people who like neutral tones and need everyday wearable shades. So they just threw basically this little last row in as a fun row for when you want to go out and do something, but you still have your everyday stuff you can wear, because lots of people like to wear oranges. Lots of people like these neutral tones here, like the shade Ashanti to me is so gorgeous and has a unique undertone to it. It's like this weird pukey yellow greenish shade that you can use in the crease and everywhere else. It's just simply stunning. So I really love this palette. This is one of my all-time favorite Juvia's Place palettes, so I had to put it in. The color story to me is just simply stunning. I know it's like really simple, but it's like really simple and still somewhat eloquent and fun, and that's what I was here for. So the next one I have is the Warrior 3 by Juvia's Place. Now I don't have the Warrior 1 because it's a bronzy tone one. Warrior 2 looks okay to me. It's just it's all mattes, and I'm not crazy about Juvia's Place mattes to the point where I would be willing to buy an all matte palette. So that's why I went with the Warrior 3. And I mean, the outside lets you know that she's a colorful queen. I'm here for it. It's a vibe. I absolutely love it. To me, this is a funner version of the Zulu palette, but I feel like the Zulu palette pairs nicely with this one. I do own the Zulu palette, but I just like the Warrior 3 a little bit more. I don't know, I feel like I like this color story a little bit more. Like I literally go down this row and make an eye look a lot of the times, or I can pull in the purples and these tones. So I feel like this one just gives me more of what I like in the palette. I would just pair these, even these 4 shades right here. I could just pair and make a nice eye look. So I like the way this one is set up a little bit more than the Zulu palette, so that's why this one got chosen over it. But it doesn't mean I like Zulu any less, and I still do pair that one and Zulu together sometimes. The next one, this was one of my very first favorite Juvia's Place palettes when they came out with this. Now I did used to like the Masquerade, but once I saw the Magic, I liked it a little bit better because I like the way they set it up better. Like they have the warm tones at the top and then the cool tones at the bottom. And the problem with the Masquerade to me is like all the fun shades at the top, and then you look down at the bottom, it's just a whole bunch of boring brown. So I like the way they did this better with like warm tones at the top and then my cool tones at the bottom. So it's like I can get a better sense of how to wear the palette, whereas with the other one, it was just like I see all these fun shades at the top and I'm just looking at the top, and then when I look at the bottom, I was like depressed. I actually gave it to my cousin when I went to go visit her in Wisconsin, because I was like, I'm only gonna use the Magic Mini, so I don't need that one. I had the original Magic that was huge, but I'm like, I'm so glad they went down to these pan sizes instead of the huge ones, because I was like, I wasn't really feeling the huge pan size. They still do it from time to time, but like when it came to this palette, the pan size I felt like just way too huge for it. So I'm glad they got smaller sizes, and this was one of my go-to first Juvia's Place palettes. So I liked the Nubian, believe it or not, when I first started, because I was using neutrals to make sure I learned my blending technique so I wouldn't have patchy craziness going on with color. And then once I got more into color, then I used the Masquerade, and then I used the one I just showed you, which is the Magic Mini from Juvia's Place, because those used to be like my go-to before I got into all the other palettes I got into. But don't think I sleep on Juvia's Place, because y'all see I reviewed them quite a bit. I do not sleep on Juvia's Place. Next I have the Garden of Juvia's. This one actually came out this year. I was happy that they came out with a pastel palette, because I was like, pastels don't necessarily work on brown girls sometimes, in my opinion, depending on what kind of base you use and all that. But I was like, since a black on brown came out with pastels, I figured they would work on brown girls. So that's why I was excited, because believe it or not, I really do like pastels. I like to wear them in the spring and then sometimes in the winter. So these are the tones I like to reach for during those times, and I'm glad I have some from a black on brand, because I feel like it'll just work out a little bit better for me, because she would know the formulations that'll work better, or at least I feel like look better on my skin tone. And so I'm happy to have this in my collection. Plus the shimmers in here are stunning. Like I love the shade Money Tree. It has like this pink shift to it that looks really cool. And then say Sunshine has this weird green shifting shimmer to it that's just really nice. So a lot of the shimmers in here are just really wonderful. And then the mattes are really nice too. If you want to see the video on it, I think I have a playlist of Juvia's Place. Don't quote me if I don't. You can search my channel and just type in Juvia's Place, and every single video I've made on Juvia's Place will show up. So number 9 is the Walhalla 2. Now if you know me, you know this one was my favorite, and when I open it up you will know why. Because if you've been on this channel for any amount of time, What are my favorite color stories? I think I said at the beginning of this video, it is blue, green, and purple. So although there isn't that much purple in here, there's lots of blue and green. So that's what made me attracted to this palette. I don't like the Wahala, the original one. I do not like that palette. I just feel like the color story isn't for me. So I liked this one a whole lot more when it came out. Now the thing I hate about this, again, is pressed glitter. So there's like 3 of them in here. It's like I'd rather had like, sorry, 4 of them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd rather had like a shimmer or some more duochromes, or you know, just put some more mattes in it that I can dust over with. But you know, I still like the palette overall, obviously, or else it wouldn't be in here. And it has a good dupe for Pat McGrath's Extrovert shade right here. The shade called Fake is really similar and exact to the color. And obviously the Juvia's Place palette is on sale right now for 18 bucks. When you see this video, I don't know if it will be, but with Juvia's Place, since they always on sale, it probably will be, girl. I don't know. Next, I have the Culture. This is the last one I have. This is probably my favorite one out of all the big ones they've made so far. I really truly love the color story of this. I feel like it is really good quality, and I was so happy to get my hands on it, and so glad you all still want to see the video, because I was concerned about you not wanting to see it because of the hot water they had got in with the Asian community. But you all said you still wanted to see it, and I got to do, I think, 2 or 3 looks with it, and I liked every single look I did with it. I've done more looks with it since. I really love this palette. And of course, this will be the one we're using because this is the newest one that's out, so I want to get as many looks in with it as possible. I was thinking about using an older one, but I'm just like, some of them might be discontinued. Like, I really want to use the Try, but I don't want y'all feeling bad because I used it and you can't get it anymore. So I think I'm just going to stick to this palette. But I really, really love the color story of this. It's either going to be this or the original Allure, just because I feel like it can give us summer Christmas vibes from, you know, the Metropolis palette. So I might use this one instead. We'll see. I'll come back and let you know which one I'm using. Zoom on real quick. Girl, I gotta go because the battery about to die, but I'll talk to you in a few minutes when we get this eye look done. Okay, girl? Okay. A little sunrise eye moment brought to you by Juvia's Place. No, so this is the eye I chose to do for this top 10 favorite palettes from Juvia's Place. If y'all remember, then you do. I'm filming this days later, so I have to remind myself, girl. Yeah, but I used all 6 shades in the palette because, I mean, it's only 6, so I felt like it wouldn't take too much. So you will see what I do as I go through. But since it's 6 shades, I feel like you have a good idea if you're used to watching this channel what I chose to do. However, if you notice, I did not actually do my cat eye shape. I did like more rounded, traditional shape instead of doing the cat eye winged out look that I love to do. So I tried to be different in that regard. But a lot of the colors I used were the same, but then again, it's like I only had 6 to choose from, girl. So I had to use what would work best for my skin tone and make it work. I put 2 shimmers on the lid and 1 in the inner corner just to, you know, try to help that out a little bit. So we're going to start off with the yellow shade. Now I will say I felt like I had to build this up quite a bit, but since it's just supposed to, you know, be a pre-shade, it wasn't that big a deal, but I don't remember having like build it up this much, so that's what I was kind of shocked about. But it's probably because I'm using this fluffy brush and it's, oh, see, it's picking up way nicer than it did when I really used it the first time. But I think it's because I dug in hard. I didn't dig in that hard. I was like lightly tapping in, but now that I'm like really truly digging in, it's coming up a whole lot better. So y'all been editing videos in between other videos and all that, trying to make sure I get as much out of the day as I can. It's like 1:15 in the morning, and I'm trying to film another one of these, what do you call them, top 10 favorite palette eyeshadow looks, because it's like I filmed all the intros and showed all the palettes, but I'm like filming looks with all the palettes now. I still haven't filmed the first 2 that I need to film, those crazy it is, but I'm trying to save those to the last minute because those are with like holiday palettes, and I want to rank the holiday palettes, then do those looks, and then just take everything home. So that's why I'm holding off on it. It's crazy that sound, because you know, yeah. So I'm gonna take the orange in the crease now, start patting it. The good thing is a lot of the palettes I used today had a lot of the same colors in them, so I'm just reusing the same brush, to be honest. Just because I'm like, you know, I was trying to wash 40 brushes. I did like, I think 2 or 3 eye looks tonight. I want to say I did 3 eye looks tonight. So I'm proud of myself because I usually do eye looks on Friday nights. I've told you all my schedules in other videos. I'll usually try to do commentary videos, and I still managed to do, I think, 1 commentary video. I tried to do 1 more. I'm like, I want to see though, because it's like I haven't actually done the battle of the item, and I'm gonna do the battle tomorrow, so I'm kind of trying to hold off and wait on that because I'm gonna have to come back and film that 1 part. But I'm like, I might just go ahead and film it because I have that much confidence that the products are the same. They're not going to wear the same, just basically have used both of them quite a bit. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But I want to make sure that'll be my last video of the night, like my last one, because like y'all, it's 1:30 and I gotta get up and be at Sephora tomorrow to make sure I pick up the, what's those highlighters from, the highlighter from Rare Beauty, to make sure that I get to put them in my collection and do the video for that tomorrow. So I want to do a battle of that powder when I do that. So I'm thinking I'll put that stuff on my face in the morning, then I'll go to the store and pick up the highlighters, so that way I can just put the highlighters on when I get back. And that'd be one less thing I have to do, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that, because then the makeup won't be fresh when I put them on. It'll be a little lived in, and you know, I don't know if that'll necessarily be fresh to the highlighter, because I'll be going on a lived in face. So again, things I have to make up my mind about. Oh, the life of a YouTuber. Especially a full-time working YouTuber who's someone's mom and has to, you know, handle other things in life. It's just a lot, but you know, I'm passionate about it, or else y'all wouldn't gotten videos every single day for the last year. So clearly your girl's done something. Now y'all probably not gonna see this till 2023, because I'm trying to get some more new series on my channel and get rid of some old ones. Like I'm thinking get rid of my side chick makeup. I told y'all I had like 3 or 4 left, and then I was thinking about just dissolving the series. You can tell me what you think down below in this video, because I don't know what order I'm putting these in yet. I think I might make this video number 3. I need to see. I haven't truly fully decided yet, so it could go either way. We're just cutting it with glitter glue. Y'all know the drill. So I started off with the lightest green shimmer right here. This one. Focus. 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 Thank you. I started off with this one. And then I'm going to use this one on the outer, the front part. And then of course y'all know this is what's in the inner corner, but I just wanted to show y'all before I started. I'm going to start with the dark emeraldish type green. To me it's a light emerald green. I wouldn't say it's like a true emerald green, but yeah, it's giving off an awful lot of lovely metallic sparkle, and I am here for it. I'm editing videos in between these videos too, y'all, because when I get home I just plan on uploading like the rest of the day. I'm trying to get home in an early time frame. I don't know how early it's gonna be, girl. I don't know how early it's gonna be, but I'm gonna try to make it early. I wanted to film my holiday palettes this week and my haul this week, but my all my stuff still hasn't come yet. Like I'm still waiting on my OPV palette that I bought. I'm still waiting on my Christmas palettes from one of my all-time favorite brands, Ensley Cosmetics. I love how I'm talking about this and you ain't gonna see this in 2022. I mean 2023 is gonna be late as I don't know what, but you know, I felt the need to share, and y'all know I'm a pre-filming queen, so I got stuff pre-filmed all the way to like March, y'all. I know. Don't judge me. It's what happens when you don't have a life. Or like when you're in free time. I'm a person that's a creature of habit, so a lot of times I feel like I'm just a creature of habit, and that's why I be filming a whole bunch of stuff even when, you know, I could just be being free and living life, because I'm so used to having to come and film every weekend till I'm like so caught up I'm still filming as if, you know, I'm behind or something. But in all fairness, I do still have new things coming in, so that's another reason why I'm doing it. Okay, y'all, the battery trying to die now. Let me at least put this in the corner, and then I'll come back and give y'all, you know, the tea on the brand and how I rank this palette or rank the brand as a whole. But let's get the inner corner in. As you can see, it's just a cute little orange moment here. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera and dust the orange in the crease to give you more detail like the other side. Then I'm gonna come back with the wing and the mascara, and we'll talk about my thoughts on the palette. So I'm backing on up now, girl, because again, y'all know the drill. Is I need personal space now. The eye look is over. You back it on up, girl. Back it on up. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so this eye look reminds me of why I love the Juvia's Place Quality. As you can see, the mites are brightly pigmented. I didn't even use my white base. I used the Kaleidos one, and it doesn't really have too much of any sort of pigment to it, but as you can see, all these colors look nice and vibrant on the eyes. It's gorgeous metallic shimmers that I have all over the lid. Looks just simply stunning on the eyes, and I didn't have to put much work into my look. Like I said, the only thing I don't remember is the yellow being as lightly pigmented as it was, but I just didn't dig my brush in enough on the first eye, because on the second eye it picked up with ease. So Beaute's Place has great quality at an affordable price, which is why I love the brand. And this was actually one of my favorite winter color stories, because to me this is this is the brown girl friendly version of the Metropolis mini palette. So that's why I definitely had to go ahead and showcase this one in particular. Because if you think about getting the Mini Metropolis palette, I don't feel like you need to. I feel like you can just go ahead and get this little palette. And these were actually on sale for $6 when I did this video, but of course you don't know that. But then again, with Juvia's place, it might go on sale again for $6. By the time this video hits the streets again, they always have amazing sales. Another great reason I want to shout out this brand and shout out this palette. But those are my thoughts on it, and this is why this was the palette I used for the top 10 favorites of Juvia's Place, because I want the accent alternative to the Metropolis palette. So sorry, Mini Metropolis palette from Natasha Denona. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.